You ever stop and wonder what it's like to have a mind that never shuts off? I know that for someone like me, that could be pretty scary, but definitely not for a person like Leonardo da Vinci. His brain was like a lightning storm that never ended. He didn't just paint or invent, he observed constantly. Everywhere he went, he was studying something. A ripple in water, the way that sunlight would hit a stone wall, the tilt of someone's smile in the crowd. And he wrote it all down, page after page, tiny, mirror-written notes, sketches, and questions. He called them experiments, but what they really were was an invitation. An invitation to look deeper. One day he'd write, observe the goose's foot, and the next he'd write, describe the tongue of a woodpecker. I mean, who does that? Really, who does that? Well, thankfully, Leonardo da Vinci did. When you think about it, it's genius. He was teaching himself to see the world as if he just arrived here for the first time. He believed that seeing was everything, that art, and maybe even intelligence itself, begins in the eyes. He said that most people look without seeing, and that hit me, because it's true. How often do we just glance at things without really noticing them? I mean, really taking notice of them, noting, making notes. Leonardo didn't allow that. He trained his senses like tools. He told painters to make their minds like mirrors, taking in every detail, every reflection, every shift in light. Now, I'm not a painter, but I see the value in that. Imagine walking through life that way, seeing faces in clouds, stories in stains on the wall, lessons in shadows. He literally practiced that. The world was his school. He'd stare at an old wall until he saw landscapes and figures appear. I miss doing that. And when he'd walk through the marketplace, he'd sketch people mid-laughter, mid-argument, capturing life in motion. But he didn't stop there. He'd also sketch the reactions of the bystanders, the onlookers, caught between amusement and concern. Every little human response fascinated him. Leonardo wasn't the type to wait for inspiration. He documented it as it happened. His notebooks weren't journals, not the way that we see them today. They were proof that he never stopped noticing. He once wrote, "All our knowledge has its origin in our perceptions." So maybe genius isn't about IQ. It's about attention. Think about that. What if seeing deeply is the real secret? What if every spark of creativity, every breakthrough starts with curiosity strong enough to make you stop and write it down? Leonardo lived like that. His art, his science, his inventions, they all came from that relentless curiosity. So maybe the question isn't how he did it. Maybe it's, what are we not seeing?